Welcome back. We're here at South by Southwest at the legendary Antone's nightclub with Mr. Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Now, you're here at South by Southwest with a new album, which is more than just a Kenny Wayne Shepherd album. It's a blues event. It like sums up all of blues history. Yeah. You've got all these legends on there. How did you go about getting them on?
Well, we just made some phone calls. What happened is, to make a long story short, back when I was in the studio recording my third album, Live On, Jerry Harrison, who produced that record, and we were just brainstorming about ideas for future projects, and he thought it would be a great idea to go down to the south of the United States in search of the authentic blues musicians, and to take some recording gear and to just go set up and play with them and see what would come from that. And so when I did my fourth album, The Place You're In, that turned out to be a lot more of a rock record. And I realized I have a big fan base of blues fans, you know, and so I decided that we really needed to give them something unique. So that's when we revisited Jerry's idea, and then we decided, hey, if we're going to go do this, we should bring a film crew with us and, you know, make a documentary of the whole trip, because there was a lot of experiences that would really be hard to put into words. So we figured, you know, why not see it for yourself?
So how different is that to albums you've done before?
Well, I mean, this one was very involved because, you know, we had the whole film aspect of it. I mean, it's the first time I've been involved in a full-length film process, so the editing process and all that stuff was new to me. But also it was really unique as far as the recording went, because we were on location every day, and every day was a different environment. Sometimes we were in like a neighborhood blues bar, or we were in somebody's living room, or on the front porch, or in the backyard, you know. And so the recording environment was different every day, and we recorded everything live, so there's no overdubs. You know, we used modern technology to capture the music, but we recorded it in the old-fashioned way, and we did it all live.
Yeah. Wow. So how, with all these blues legends around, how do they see Kenny Wayne Shepherd?
Well, you know, some of them...
You must have been crapping yourself.
Well, I was definitely enjoyed myself, and I think it's pretty obvious in the film. You know, you can see that I'm having a good time. But, I mean, you know, some of these guys... I mean, throughout my career, I've encountered, you know, sometimes I get these looks, you know, of people like, who's this young white guy? He wants to play blues with the real deal. And even though I'm much older now, some of these guys still didn't know who I was, you know. It was my first time to meet some of them. And so there was a little bit of that. But the minute I pick up my instrument, you know, and we start playing, it's like they can relate. And they know where I'm coming from. It's like they see beyond the outside, and they see where I'm coming from on the inside through my music, and then it's all good.
So is it tough to get past the whole white guy, little kid thing? You obviously weren't around when these guys were around originally.
Yeah, no, like I said, the minute we start playing, you know, like when I hooked up with the guys, we had Muddy Waters band members and Howlin' Wolf's band members, and we got them all together, and we did a live concert in a church in Kansas. And the day before, we all got together, and we had a bunch of barbecue, and this jam session kind of started. And what happened is I picked up my guitar, and the ones that weren't familiar with me just kind of looked over, and they listened to me play. And the next thing you know, they're shaking my hand and patting me on the back, you know, and it's like it was all good.
From a non-blues fan's perspective, I suppose the big star on the album is B.B. King, but there are a lot of other legends on there as well, like Pinetop Perkins, Hubert Sumlin, so on and so on, both of who I believe you're playing with tonight.
Yeah.
Were you starstruck around these people?
Well, you know what? There was a certain point where I was standing there and I was playing, and I looked around and I was surrounded by all these guys, Pinetop Perkins, Willie Big Eye Smith, they had Henry Gray up there, and Hubert Sumlin, and I just like realized that I was surrounded by so many of my heroes, you know, all these people that I grew up learning how to play the guitar, listening to their music, and the reality of it just kind of hit me all at once, and I felt really privileged to be a part of that.
You must have felt like you've really made it then.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, I've had many moments throughout my career where I've had huge moments, like playing with B.B. King. You know, the first time I played with him, I was 15 years old, and he's become like another father to me, you know, but like there's been many different moments throughout my career where I've just like kind of looked around. It's just been surreal. You know, it's like I'm on stage opening up for the Rolling Stones. I'm playing with ZZ Top. I'm playing with B.B. King. I'm playing with Hubert Sumlin. I'm playing with Ponta. And it's like, every time I turn around, it's like I'm getting to play with another hero of mine. It's just amazing.
And there's not a whole lot of younger blues musicians out there, or at least not a whole lot that are really making it out there. How did you break through that?
I feel like it was just kind of it was the right time. Timing is everything, and I think my career and my life kind of was already kind of on a path of its own. It's like everything came together for me in a way that if I tried to plan it out, it wouldn't have happened as good as it actually did. So I just kind of believe that I was put here to play music, and that's why it worked out for me the way it has.
And now we're standing right now in Antone's, the legendary blues bar here in Austin. Have you played here before?
Yeah, absolutely. First time I played Antone's, actually, it was in the original Antone's building. This is the second location for the club.
I heard it was the third.
Oh, might be the third, but this is the second that I'm aware of. And I played the old location when I was 15 years old, and that's when I first met Chris Layton. And then I saw many different artists like Buddy Guy. They had everybody from Albert Collins to Albert King to Buddy Guy. Just if they were blues, they came through Antone's.
Yeah.
And even in the years when blues wasn't so popular, Antone's was always a place for these guys to play, and Clifford Antone just, he meant so much to this, to the Texas music scene, but to the blues scene all across the world. I mean, he did a lot for the musicians and the music. And, the amazing thing is that we're here tonight to kind of pay tribute to Clifford and his life and his contribution to music. But the thing is, we came here, he kept asking me, he was like, I want to get you and Double Trouble to come play the club, and all these years went by, and he kept asking, but it just never happened because I was so busy. And then they had a date opened up, and we just said, okay, we'll come down and we'll do it. So me and Tommy and Chris came down, and Noah, my lead singer, and we played, and Clifford was there, and that was the last live show he ever saw before he passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that must mean a lot to you. Tonight is the tribute to Clifford.
Yeah, absolutely. Cliff was, like I said, he was just an amazing guy. He did so many things for the people who play music in this town and all over the world, and especially for blues music and blues musicians. And he was just a great guy, man. He was a true music lover. He was a real music enthusiast. And I feel privileged that my show was the last show that he saw.
Now, you have played around with Double Trouble before, Stevie Ray Vaughan's backing band.
Yeah.
They're on your new album. Chris Layton's here tonight. Do you find that you get Stevie Ray Vaughan comparisons a lot?
Well, it's pretty, every time somebody, if they're going to make a comparison, they're going to make a comparison to me and Stevie. And you know what? Stevie was such a huge inspiration to me. I think he's the main reason why I picked up the instrument in the first place. I met him, the first time I met him, I was 7 years old. And I got to watch his show from the side of the stage, and I wanted to play guitar. That's all I wanted to do after that. And I met him several times. After that, he autographed my very first Stratocaster that I ever got. He was my idol. And obviously there's going to be that heavy influence there, It's like B.B. King, when B.B. King's biggest influence was T-Bone Walker. And if you listen to that early B.B. King stuff, you're going to hear a lot of T-Bone Walker licks. Everybody has their main influences, and Stevie is definitely probably one of my biggest. And so I don't mind people making that comparison, because if people think the name Stevie Ray Vaughan and my name comes up in that same sentence, that's an honor.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Kenny, it's great speaking to you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
You too.